In this video, you will learn how to import data from a PostgreSQL database. From the Overview page, select the Import panel, or select Import from either the header menu or the left-hand icon menu. Choose the PostgreSQL Import option. Set the properties for the reader step. We'll use the example listed in the documentation under Guided Walkthrough. With the reader completed, click Next. We can now add a table schema for our data. The schema converts the data to a format compatible with the 𝗙𝗵𝗽+ database. We will be selecting a pre-configured schema from our database. So if you haven't already created a database, do so now and come back to this step. You can leave the Import tab open while you create a database. We will want to add a table to the schema associated with the database. You can find the name of the schema used by the database under Assemblies. The Guided Walkthrough uses an assembly called insightsdemo, which has a database and schema also called insightsdemo. To modify the schema, open the Schema menu from the left-hand menu and select the schema to update. The schema will open a new tab, so now we have to add a table corresponding to the data we want to import from the PostgreSQL database. For Guided Walkthrough, this is called Health. We complete the Health schema table as outlined in the documentation, then submit our changes to apply them. Before we proceed, we need to ensure we have our partition and any required data sorts configured to a timestamp column. Click Submit. With the table schema complete, we can switch back to our Import tab and select both the database and schema we created for Health. You will notice parse strings for each of our columns is set to auto. This is OK and can be the default for any schema. Parse strings must either be on or auto for timestamp, time, and string data. And click Next. The final step is to define the database to write the data to. This is typically the same database used to source the schema and should use the schema table matching our data. As we're working with the Guided Walkthrough examples, we'll go with the insightsdemo database and the Health dataset. We don't need to change the write direct to HTTP or deduplicate stream, so just go to Open Pipeline. The Open Pipeline is the path our data takes from source to the 𝗙𝗵𝗽 database. Each of the elements in this path are called a node and can be edited on selection. Again, we don't need to do this, so just save the pipeline. For pipeline saving, just give the pipeline a name. Before we can deploy the pipeline, allowing us to ingest the data, we have to have an active database to write the data to. We do this by deploying the assembly containing the database used in the writer step before we deploy our pipeline. The deployment process for the assembly can be monitored from the Overview page. When all the steps are successfully run, we will see a green tick next to the assembly name. At that stage, we can then go back to our pipeline and deploy it. Because we are importing from a PostgreSQL database, we do have an authentication step to complete before the pipeline is deployed. When the pipeline is successfully deployed, it will show a status running under Running Pipelines in the Overview page. We can check our data from the Query tab. This can be opened from the query tile of the 𝗙𝗵𝗽 page, from the menu option in the ribbon menu, or from the query icon. In Query, select the SQL tab. Write a simple SQL query to reference the table we created in the writer node of our pipeline. Define an output variable. You can repeat the table name here too. Then get data. This should load the data in the console. Thank you for watching.